Ba-na-na-na-na-na. Hey, ba-dum-bum-bum-bum. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to our newest podcast called Slow Burn. We literally made that up on the fly. I am Dave Koco, the huge one, aka the idiot from DaveKoco.com, DaveKoco.com, and KocoSports.net. It's where the world's coming to gas. Your home for comics, sports, and above all, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. And I'm with my tag team partner, not Boom Boom. That's my American tag team partner. I'm talking about the Down Under tag team partner, Australian tag team partner, Yuri the Black. Yuri the Black, welcome to the Slow Burn.
Thank you very much, Dave. I really appreciate it. It's a pleasure to be a co-host on, so I would say, the inaugural episode, even though that this is technically our second episode together.
I think it's the second episode we've done, but the first one we named. I think halfway through the last episode, we're like, we should call it the Slow Burn. All right, fuck it. Fuck it.
Exactly.
Well, that was preseason. This is regular season. Regular season action. Oh, yeah. And this is mostly going to be topics that are timeless, so that when the algorithm, for the love of Christ, YouTube, just show me some love, baby. Show me some love, YouTube. When they fix the algorithm,
get your shit together, YouTube.
YouTube's like, you don't make content, you don't exist. You curse and don't make content. Bah. They turn into the Iron Sheik.
Love
I
you,
break
YouTube.
your back. I make you humble. Hatui.
Hug, kiss, YouTube.
Exactly. So this will be like timeless stuff where we can just rant and rave. I was a promoter, booker, pro wrestling writer, and all-around super nerd. And Yuri the Black has been a wrestler and is an active manager. I'm sure he's seen a booker or two in his day. So today's topic.
Some good ones and some terrible ones. That's for sure.
Yeah. Know what I noticed as a booker? The ones that won the title thought I was amazing. The ones that didn't win the title thought I sucked. All that matters if you're a booker is the fans. Always love the fans before the boys. I know it's a shitty job, but it's true.
Is this where I start begging Dave and I like, book me?
Oh God! All I have to do is.
I would never beg.
All I'd have to do is go on Twitter or Facebook, or go wherever the fucking Florida wrestling guys hang out and be like, yo, dude, I think I'm coming back to Florida. I wouldn't even say that I'm running a show. Like, I'm thinking about entering the state of Florida. And they're like, are you going to book me?
Oh, really?
I don't know.
Wow.
I once had a good reputation, like a couple 100 years ago. So, all right. So today's topic. Yeah. Are you going to say something, sir?
Yeah, no. It's just, I think we'll leave it for the actual main, we'll leave it for probably the start after you do the intro there.
Okay, today's topic. What does a booker do? He books the show. Good night, folks. It's been a great episode. Thank you. Good night. This is more of an opinion. What does a good booker do? A booker is obviously in charge. A good booker is in charge of the matches, making sure the show flows, making sure that the workers are happy as much as you can make wrestlers happy, making sure that, this is what I think it does. And there's a phrase, and it's stuck in Florida. People still say it to this day: stick to your time and don't suck. That is so important. It is your job. And now there's 1,000 fucking rules that I have, and people always make fun of me because I hold people to their word, and I hold wrestling bookers to their word. If you have a podcast, Jim Ross, and you have the book at one time, Jim Cornette, and you don't fucking do what you say you're going to do, fuck your podcast right in the ass. Is this why I don't get found on Google anymore? But seriously, I have rules. Go back. Anytime I had to book, I didn't break those fucking rules. And I believe that. But stick to your time, don't suck, is important. I think time management is crazy important. And you have to be able to talk. You have to be able to talk to a wrestler and tell him, no, No, you don't need that much time. You have to talk to because the thing is, you have to worry about the fans, the entertainment, and whatever aspect of television you have. And if you are at any level of pro wrestling, from Combat TV to the WWE Network to NBC to YouTube, you should be thinking it as entertainment. You should be like, okay, well, bam, bam, bam. And, I don't mean to pick on WWE guys, but a lot of times you put a WWE name on a story, like they figure it out, Someone needs to tell Edge, no matter how good he is, that his matches should not be that long. That's what you have to do. And that's a tough job.
I definitely agree with you in that instance, though, because there's like some wrestlers, they're actually really good wrestlers, but a lot of the time they should not go past, the 10, 15 minute time limit, or that 15, 20 minute allocation, including entrances. They shouldn't exceed that. If they go ahead and exceed that, it kind of takes away from their gimmick, it takes away from their character, it takes away the meaningfulness of the way that they're being booked or the way that they're portrayed. Because it's like these days, right? Fuck. It's no secret that I got the fucking attention span of a fucking housebreak, right? Yeah. So I'll sit down, I'll fucking watch a show. As soon as I don't like something or they're doing something that's not thing, I'll just be like, oh yeah, cool. I can lose interest very fucking quickly, and it annoys me. But then there's certain guys that can just turn around at the drop of a hat. Either they might do one or two small things in the ring with the way that they're supposed to do with their character or their size or their physique, or if they go ahead and there's definitely one guy, for example, right? And I'm gonna praise this guy to all shit, right? He is hands down one of the most intelligent people in Australian wrestling, and fucking not only does he have the charisma and can he talk.
Thank you. I'm just a loser in Japan, but I really appreciate the hype, Yuri. No need to thank me. I'm just doing my job. Go on.
So he's got complete package. It's like he's got the character, he's got the charisma, he can talk, and he can wrestle. And it's a guy by the name of Alan Payne. And I am always, whenever he jumps on a microphone, posts fucking video, for some reason he'll have me hooked. It doesn't matter if it's like your standard less than a minute promo, or he sits there for 5 minutes. He's only one of the rare few that if he does longer promo, I can sit there and I'm just like drawn in, going, oh fuck, all right, so he's gonna do what? Oh wow! And then when he's out there, he's just that poetry in mind. He tells a story to that perfection, and it's like he's a cut above everyone else. And I just think the intelligence level, not to say that people aren't intelligent or people aren't good, but do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? He's one of those guys that is just extremely gifted. He knows how to read a room. He knows how to read an audience. He knows his psychology really well. He can go ahead and because he's very set with the way that he sort of does stuff with his character from my observations. But please, I don't think that you'd necessarily listen. Out there, Alan Payne, you know how much I absolutely love your work, and I love interacting with you and learning from you, sitting under the learning tree when I'm at the rare shows, which hasn't been in the last year and a half because of COVID and all that sort of stuff, and the show that we're on and different things. But it's just no matter what he does, he just kind of just draws me in, and it's I want to pay attention. Where it's there's other people, it's they might be an alright wrestler, but the match is boring as batshit, and I just don't want to I'm just hey, this is pretty shit. I might go for a piss. I might go to the canteen and get some food. Well, I might pick up my phone. It's all about being, I think, captured within that first 15 seconds to 30 seconds. Otherwise, you just get you're like that. But part of all of that, right, because I started talking about the wrestling side of things, but part of that is also up to the booker. And depends on how they're going ahead and booking a particular match, what direction they're trying to get the wrestlers to drag it in. And I definitely feel that the biggest problem today, at least on the local level, I don't know how it is with the big independents or whatever, or WWE, right? It's the boys have too much free reign in their matches in terms of telling a story. That's why I liked working when I was at Premier Pro Wrestling. Massive shout out to the former promoter there. Absolutely love him. Thank you for giving me my start. He actually had, for like with the run sheet and stuff, so and so versus so and so, and then obviously it would have been like so and so versus so and so with Yuri the Black or a manager or whatever else like that. And then it's like basically he'd have to outline, this is what I want in my match. And it would be structured. I want this. I want the baby face to get heat for, sorry, the heel to get heat for whatever reason. Baby face to come back and get the shine, but please really work X elements of the match to tell this particular story. It would literally have who would win. It would have the actual time frame, which would factor in entrances and stuff too. And it's like when I go to promotions, it's kind of like just so and so versus so and so, and then it's like underlined winner. And then it's like, don't have the conversation with the booker going, all right, this is the story I would like you to tell. This is the structure or this is the format of the match. This is what I need you to do to tell X story. And it just irritates me because it sounds like the conversations that you and I have had, Dave. And I feel like I'm going on a fucking massive rant, get maybe as I always fucking do. You tell me shut the fuck up, cut me anytime you want, Dave. No, it feels like that with what you like the conversations we've had off air and with booking and then the previous episode is that it felt like that you kept everything fairly structured as well. And I prefer working for a promoter that has a fairly structured thing going, all right, this is what we want out of the match. Like I'd like to find out from you specifically, because you done the promoting, you done the booking. What was your particular format or formula when it came to booking a match or a storyline and within the time constraints that you've had on the actual show? Like,
yeah, there's a lot of I want to hit up here. Every wrestler thinks they can go 60 minutes. Not everyone's Ric Flair and CM Punk or Samoa Joe. Okay? I call it the TNA rule. I went to a TNA pay-per-view, and I don't mean to pick on them, but, you know, this is where I came up with the rule. I was at a live pay-per-view. I got treated amazing by TNA. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to go. James Legend, who's getting married this year, congratulations, basically talked me into it. I went there. And during the live pay-per-view, I said to myself, I got to cut my grass. It is your job as a booker to make sure your audience doesn't think about their grass.
You've told me the story. Yeah, that's...
Yeah. And, also you were talking about, the pro wrestlers. They're called Booker's Dreams. And, a Booker's dream isn't necessarily a fan's dream or a fan doesn't know he's a great wrestler. A Booker's dream is someone that you can talk to and they fucking instantly get it. Booker's dream is someone that sticks to a time and knows exactly what your vision is. There's a few wrestlers I worked with that have that. Legion Cage. Legion Cage was a Booker's dream. I'm trying to think who else. Because like Legion, you can be like, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, hit it at this time, and he would. And it was amazing.
And
go ahead.
Can I just quickly jump in there? So going back to Alan Payne, he was one of those guys that was a Booker's dream, but it got to the point where, because like he was so good at what he did, they're kind of like, all right, in relation to the match, go and see Alan, he will map it out. And it's all good. And it's one of those things that the Booker trusted him enough, right? But the thing is that everything made sense, everything flowed, everything was in that time constraint.
Yeah. And that's what a Booker's dream is. Legion Cage, I'm just going to read four of that thought off the top of my head. Legion Cage, Eddie Torres, Cedric Strong, or any Strong, Roderick Strong too, and Bruce Santee. You just say, do this, do this, do this, do this. They're like, got it, don't worry about it. You got to do it at this time. Okay, got it, don't worry about it. And there's not enough of those. And that's what, if you're a pro wrestler and you want to work with a booker, become a Booker's dream. The booker has to talk to 30 plus wrestlers every week. And if he can come up to you and say, do this, do this, do this at this point. Do this, do this, do this at this point. This is what I want. This is how I want the crowd to react. Go. That is such a fucking stress relief on the booker. You know what I mean? Where you're like, if you're like, oh, dude, you got an 8-minute match. I usually wrestle 12. That's awesome. You got an 8-minute match. You know? But yeah, and as far as time, you know, I giggled at your thing because you really do it is that simple. There's a piece of paper, underline, whiteboard if you're fancy. You underline the winner and you put the time by. And that's all that fucking they see. But here's the thing. A piece of shit booker, that's all he's ever done. A good booker, you got to be on that phone. You got to hit the phone. You got to have the conversations. You know, you have to be on that phone 24/7. You know, and then you get to know it. And as far as, you know, time-wise, no one went over 12, maybe 15 minutes if it was hot. No one went over that. But I did trust my main event. And this is how I booked the main event. And this is a little unorthodox. I was like, here's the results. You don't have no time limit because you're the main event. If the fans think it fucking sucks, you'll never be the main event again. Good luck. And that's where you give your creative freedom. You give the creative freedom to the wrestlers themselves. Hence, why the title means something, because you're in the most main events. Why the main event means something. If you were in the main event, you got paid more. If you were in the main event, you had less rules. And trust me, I had a lot of rules. Like, people would walk in and be like, I can do whatever I want. I'm like, sit down, dude. Timmy. This is my fucking living. You ain't doing whatever the fuck you want. You know what I mean? You better calm the fuck down.
Bro, I can tell you a bit of a story. I think it was, I first started work. I'm not going to name the particular promotion and whatnot. Because, look, they've always been good to me. I'm not going to rag them out, and I absolutely love the owner as well. Right? It was probably about, like, because I think it started there end of 2017, and it was during the first part of 2018, right? Because it got to a point where I think we ended up having a couple of different bookers in between time as well, which was a bit frustrating. But in terms of the actual show, say for all intents and purposes, it's like doors open 7, bell time, like obviously the start of the event is at like 7:30, yeah? So it gives that half an hour for all the fans to kind of rush in, sit down, get all their like either alcohol, drinks, food, merch, whatever they need to buy, right? And then usually any good show usually goes about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, at worst 3 hours, right? The number of times that bell time started at 7:30, I got out of there out of the venue at 11:45. That was the biggest pain in the ass, especially because at the time it was always a bit more of a fight because I had to go further out west where I used to live. It was the biggest pain in the ass because it was like, for some reason, I don't know why, some of the matches, some of the rest they had at the time weren't watching the time limits for what should have only been like it would have been roughly, I would say, 10 to 12 minutes, including entrances. So roughly about a minute for the entrance. What is it, about the half a minute or a minute for the exit? And then the rest is basically all the match. The number of times that a 8-minute match went fucking 16 minutes was the biggest pain in the ass. But it happened match after match after match. And then it was always that's where it was like... For.
Yeah, that booker needs muscle. Well, that's what that fucking booker needs. Because A, you got to be strong enough, and B, you got to have captains. You know, there's captains on a hockey team. There's captains that I had. I had Sideshow, Ralph Mosca, Bruce Santee. The thing is, once you have captains and you've embedded the rules much, you go 6 minutes over. You got 3 giant motherfuckers being like, dude, this is the fucking rules of the goddamn company. You're fucking over the main event. Don't fuck over the main event. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad for the main roster. That's bad for whoever the Undertaker, aka the captain of your company, is, and this is fucking horrible. You know, it's it's a piece of shit fucking move. Like, It
It
is.
improved over time, though, Dave. That was the thing. Over the, like, because it started happening 2, 3 shows in a row, and it got a little bit ridiculous, and I could see, and then it was like, you would see it in the numbers the following month. It's like, a little bit less, a little bit less, a little bit less each time, right? But then once we get everything back on track, when we started actually getting people being a bit more engaged, it started building up the numbers again. And then when we actually kept the time, it's like the number of times I've had to, like, I've gone ahead and almost screamed at fucking just either useless people, or I hate to say it, some fucking useless rookies out there. They'll sit around and fucking just pick their nose and fucking go, oh, what? In terms of packing up, which makes it twice as long to fucking get out of there. Right? Oh, man. Like, that was the worst, especially when the shows were going way over time. And then for when it comes to either putting the ring up, fuck all people come up to put up the ring. So there would
Yeah,
be me, the
that's
fucking
more of
owner,
a
and two other people.
that's
You know?
more of a promoter thing. The promoter's a piece of shit. Like, you should
But
have
then,
fucking ring crew
then,
fucking set up.
oh yeah. But then at the end of the night, sometimes it was just useless. They'll just stand around, fucking talk about random shit. It's like, guys, can we actually stop standing around? Can we actually please have some fucking help? Or it's
Yeah.
like, there was like one guy who used to be a wrestler, but then it's like people are actually trying to do the right thing by bringing out the poles, bringing out the boards, bringing out the cables, bringing out the ropes, all that shit, and we get fucking screamed at by the fucking ex wrestler who's fucking doing the truck. And 9 times out of 10, a lot of people just fucking put their thing down, throw their hands up, and go, and, "Oh, you prick, what's your fucking problem?" And then that just fucking caused even further delay.
Yeah. That's more of a promoter situation. You just need better promoters out in Australia. Like, to me, yeah, absolutely. You have a ring crew. What do you mean? You have six great people that are ring crew. I apologize. I can't remember my crew's name because I'm an asshole. But I just remember there was a female. She fucking dominated. We had like 2, 3 fucking young wrestlers. They fucking dominated. It just seems like that's more of a promoter thing than a booker thing. And then,
But I will. Oh, sorry, I'll let you continue. Sorry.
no. It's just yeah, it just sounds like it's very unorganized, and it just sounds like whoever your promoter slash booker is not doing their fucking job. So, but yeah, but overall, hopefully it gets better. That just sounds like a fucking horrible place to work.
Uh, Obviously, it did improve over time, but the one thing is, I will give a massive shout out to the guys over at Platinum Ring Fire. So David Morris, Mel Conway, and Samantha Cow. And I did a bit of work with them as well to help them out. Man, if they're doing the ring, it's no fucking around helping, pulling down the ring, no issues. There was one particular night we ended up working it was, I think, what is it, a Lucha Fantastica show. So it was a Lucha themed show. They used, obviously, the local guys. They were all under a mask and all that sort of stuff like that. This little dinky over 18 venue and stuff like that. It was a good night out, like 2 levels. You can watch the wrestling from the balcony. It was great. That people were like right up against the ring. What was it? It ended up starting out that there was 4 of us doing the ring. One, I think, had to go. He was only there to help put up. One wasn't feeling well, went home. So at the end of the night, it ended up being me and Dave Norris pulling down an entire ring all by ourselves. And then the other shit thing was me going up to the next fight, like the following night. No, I'm getting confused with that song. No. But yeah, it was just, I can guarantee I was fucking wrecked by the end of the night. And me and Dave looked at each other and were like, we fucking did alright, didn't we? But we're fucking pissed off. Exactly. And it's just, yeah. It's just in terms of, I just feel that in terms of, like, even with the bookers, and it might be a promoter thing as well, but it's still, that all still kind of factors in. You got bumping to set up the ring and set up everything, and then you've got your bump out at the end of the night, which is still, in a way, unofficially a part of the whole sort of time frame from start to finish when booking a show, when promoting a show. matches in case if something goes wrong with the ring, or having to go out and spend that 5 minutes that might dig into that little bit of extra time. I'm lucky I haven't been on a show where there hasn't been really any issues with any of the rings, but yeah.
Yeah, but that, like I said, that's more of a promoter's job, and yeah. But back on it, on the Booker's job, I want to talk about like one thing. Paul Heyman, when he was at his best, was perfect at this, and most people, including Vince McMahon, including, you know, pretty much everyone. Not when Paul Heyman was at his best, he did a great job of this. And there might be other promotions to this. Ring of Honor, when it was in its prime, was really good at this. New Japan, 4 or 5 years ago, was really good at this. And it's just time periods. But the booker his job is to hide your weaknesses, and show your strengths. And time management is a huge part of that. But also, like, I don't know. It's just sometimes people book like it's E-Fed, and it's funny because sometimes E-Feds are booked better than actual real shows. It's just not this person versus this person winner. All right, see you tomorrow. Like, there's so much more to it than that.
Yeah.
And you have to, like, you should have at all times 4 main eventers, and the main eventers shouldn't touch each other unless attendance, ratings, or however you judge your success goes down, or it's a major show. You know, you have 4 main eventers. You go to every company, who's the 4 main eventers? People will argue, and on top of that, they'll wrestle each other almost every single week. So hence why, like, you have to bring back a Goldberg, you have to bring back an Edge, you have to bring back Stone Cold, you have to bring back Undertaker. You know. The reason why is because you're not building anyone up. And a lot of people, like, it's easy to say that, but not really know what that means. Because it's easy to say, oh, WWE doesn't build anyone up. And then you go to IndieFed and they're not building anyone up. Building someone up is not just one person. You have to have that person go against someone. And if you can get 4 people clicking at the same time, you know, bam, you that's what you should do. And then, obviously, if you get the whole roster clicking, it's amazing. But you should at least have 4 main eventers and try to fucking hide the weaknesses and push them to the moon. But it doesn't matter if you have 2 of the greatest wrestlers in the world. You know, who right now, if you're listening to this, imagine the 2 greatest wrestlers in your head. No matter what, if they go back and forth every Monday night, every Saturday night at your local bar, you know, no matter the situation, the 7th time it's not special. The 8th time isn't special. You know what I mean? So you have to build it up. You know, like, to me, my ultimate dream, you know, would to build up 4 undefeated people. You know, me and Yuri the Black are going to work on Fire Pro. And Fire Pro is a, you know, video game, but it's pretty intense on simulation, you know? It's pretty detailed. I think it's more detailed than the average wrestling game. It's just not for everyone playing wise. But when you sim the matches, they're amazing. Well, the thing is, if you fucking just, me and him are going to make this simulation league, if this AI can run a show better than you, why do you exist? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why do you
100%.
exist? So, yeah, just hiding weaknesses. And a lot of times you get a super nerd guy, you know, hey, I'm a super nerdy guy. I'm not going to fucking knock nerds. But you get a super nerdy guy that doesn't have the experience of talking to people. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm a super fucking nerdy guy, and I'll be like, yeah, fuck yeah, I give that fucking 4.5 stars, and fucking, yeah, fucking, oh my god, Okada's the greatest, and this is where I rank my pro wrestlers. I ain't fucking gonna lie.
5-star chaser?
Yeah, exactly. But if I fucking go to work, you know, Yuri's fucking wrestling promotion, fucking Australia.net, I'm not going back there to be like, yeah, fucking guys, we put on a 5-star match, 6-star match. You have a fucking job to do, you know? And That's what has to happen. So yeah. So I'm kind of excited and nervous about it, but yeah. I would definitely say hide your weaknesses and show the
Oh
strengths.
yeah,
But as a booker, it's easy as fuck to say that when it's a computer game. It's easy as
yeah.
fuck to say that when you're on a podcast. When you're looking at a fucking 8 foot fucking tall guy who's roided out of his fucking mind, it's not so easy. You know what I mean? Like, hey, pal.
But I would almost say that there would be, in a way, if you think about what the hell, my phone's bloody playing up. There would be almost like if you think about wrestler wise, there's almost like archetypes with the way that you would kind of book certain people, right? So if you got this big beefy sort of monster that like blows up like a motherfucker, you would probably either
47-minute
depending on the
match. Chain
oh
wrestling.
yeah, it would
Lucha
the
style,
way
I'm
that I look
sorry.
at it, right? If it's a monster style character, you go in, fucking pretty much do an Ultimate Warrior. When I say pretty much do an Ultimate Warrior, go in, like build him up with somebody who it's like obviously not going to affect their image and stuff like that. That'll help make them look good to build up and like bang, 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 done. Kind of like what they did with Goldberg. Goldberg kind of fucking comes in. What was it? Pretty much done his spear, done his jackhammer, bang, that's it. Or done a couple of moves in between.
Yeah, I just want to say something real quick about Goldberg. Goldberg up to the fucking zapper was one of the best booked things in the world. And here's the thing. If you're a new booker or you're in a position of booking or you have any power whatsoever, it is way better to go too short and fix it the next show than go too long and not have fans the next show.
That's exactly right, Dave. Because there's nothing worse than going when watching a wrestler, like either as a fan, watching a wrestler go the match overtime by like 5 or 6 minutes or 8 minutes, right? And I'm like, this is just friggin' boring. And it's like, I rock up the next month and I'm like, are we gonna get the same old shit from that wrestler from the previous month? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like I think good booker is able. The thing is a good booker is able to communicate with the people that he's got.
And you
But it's
also
a
got to know,
two-way street. They
like,
need to listen to Dave.
and I make fun of New Japan because it was so good and now it's not when it comes as far as booking goes. And people blindly defend it. But here's the thing, and here's the thing that fucking goes against my fandom. Who's the new Kenny Omega? Switchblade. Jay White. Jay White was gonna beat Okada no matter what, because according to his story, it had to happen.
Yeah.
No one fucking bought it. Yeah, he beat him at the Wrestle Kingdom. No one fucking bought it. Everyone's looking at their phone. The best thing he could have done was make it quick. And it was a very short match because no one in that fucking Tokyo Dome, outside of fucking an idiot that walked in thinking it was going to be a Giants game, no one in that fucking dome thought Okada was going to win. And no one wants to see their fucking hero get their ass kicked for fucking 87 minutes. And if you go back, especially if you were there live, it killed the crowd. So, it was the best of the worst situation. It's like, yeah, everyone knows, long-term booking. Everyone knows this, so we got to keep it short. And it's better, because what are you going to do? You're going to have a 45-minute classic when everyone, and this is once again booking and hiding weaknesses and telling stories. If you're on the biggest show of the year, you have to book it where the audience doesn't feel like they know the winner. And it's hard. It's very hard. Now, granted, every show shouldn't be that way. But your Wrestle Kingdom, your WrestleMania, your big event, you should go up and down that list and go, oh my God, I don't know who the fuck's going to win. Oh my God, you know what I mean? That's the result you should be looking for. And it doesn't happen too often. So.
There was a match years ago, I think early 90s WWF, and it was a program between Kerry Von Erich, the Texas Tornado, and Mr. Perfect. Right? And they fucking booked that fucking that shit perfect because it got to a point where they had the big blow off match and it was for like I think the Intercontinental title at the time. It's been many years since I've seen that match. I can't remember if Perfect or Kerry Von Erich won, but I'm pretty sure it's like because Mr. Perfect hands down one of my favorite fucking wrestlers, and I always enjoyed watching Kerry Von Erich and Mr. Perfect work together. That shit was fucking amazing, but it's like it roped me in, and it got booked in such a way where it was like I think me and my friend like we obviously hired the tape, we watched the tape, and by the end of the meanwhile, like, hugging each other, jumping up and down, like so what? This is fucking awesome. And it's like if you can get a reaction like that out of fucking two little shits at home, there's no excuse why you can't do that at a fucking crowd. Like with a crowd in a live venue as well. It was just so well put together, that feud and that match.
Yeah, and yeah, it's just that's what you want, and that's where if you have 4 main eventers that are fucking unstoppable, and here's the thing too. In Booker's defense, we've been saying you got to do this, you got to do this. A good booker, no matter how great the booking is, you have to adjust, and I think that's where you make money. Now, here's the difference. A good booker, when stuff goes wrong, the audience doesn't recognize it. A bad booker, they're like, oh, well, what was he supposed to do? That guy left. What was he supposed to do? That is your fucking job. That is your fucking job. That's why you get fucking paid. A wrestler might quit. A wrestler might get injured. You have to book around it. That's why, like, maybe the fan part of me, and, I have 2 hats. I have I'm a fan. I also have a booking hat. So when I hear, oh, man, what was he supposed to do? This guy walked away. This guy got injured. If you're good at your fucking job, the fans never talk about that. You got to be good at your fucking job. That, and also, you have to push people that you trust or have contracts with.
No, I must say that like even sometimes the best bookers, they might be really good at a series of things in terms of booking, but they could be shit in another aspect of booking. And it's like I've personally got my preferred bookers, the people that I like dealing with, because it's just I like dealing with somebody. I'm not saying that the bookers that I've dealt with aren't intelligent. But you get where I'm coming from. I like dealing with intelligent people that can fucking actually tell me what I need to fucking do during a match. I'll tell my client what they need to. My client, his opponent during the match. This is the story I want you to tell. These are the dot points. Keep it to this time frame. Keep it to that. Oh,
exactly.
Hey, Yuri, I need you to go ahead and do this. So this is either a setup for the next show, or I want you to be that little annoying cunt and then get hit at the end and watch the crowd fucking pop. Yeah. When I get told that, I'm like fucking light bulb turns on. No worries. But it's kind of like, so-and-so versus so-and-so with me. So-and-so wins, and then there's no fucking structure, and then it's like, I fucking turn to the boys, so, there's nothing worse than turning to the guys that I'm working with going, so, what do you guys want to do? Did you guys need me to take a bump? Did you guys need me to do... Did you want me to trip you up? Did you want me to throw...
If that conversation's happening, there's 2 things. You're either in the main event and the booker trusts you, or the booker doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. One of the 2. And also, and also to know your crowd, know your audience, know what you can afford, know your budget. Be knowledgeable about that stuff too, because a lot of people are like, oh, be knowledgeable, and be like, did you know Ricky the Dragon Steamboat once held a wrist lock on Hawaii's beach for 49 minutes? That's not the knowledge you need. You need the knowledge of what the fuck did you an Australian. I don't know. No offense, I know nothing about Australia, so I might not be good at booking. Or I'd say, hey, give me a couple months to watch shows because you want to see what the fans pop for, what they don't pop for, and all that.
Yeah.
But let's just take Japan, Mexico, London, Northeast, Florida, California, Mexico, Canada. They're all gonna fucking be different because they know your fucking your crowd. And that's why WWE has the hardest job in the world but they're still bad at it. You know what I mean? But yeah, know your crowd, know your audience, know what you like, and like if I booked a show in Japan, it would be different than if I booked it in Florida or if I booked it in the
Oh,
Northeast.
definitely.
So it would be just different. And also for bookers or I guess just have rules. And a lot of that comes with experience. You know, running a show, and always, these is where your rules come from. Watch your audience. Like, listen, watch the crowd,
Oh, yeah.
but watch your audience. See how far along they go to the cell phone. See how often they go to the toilet. See if they're joking. See if they're laughing at the right spots. See if they're serious. See if they, you know what I mean? I know so many promotions. I'm talking top tier promotions. Don't give a fuck about the audience at all. And then also, like, have a list of rules and just fucking hit those rules. Like, here's some of my rules. And I don't know if ref bumps. One per show, you have to ask permission. And you have to explain why you need a ref bump. Double downs. One per show. And you better fucking have a great reason. Because here's the thing. Double downs worked in the 70s. Double downs is a great fucking ref spot. Double downs might work in certain areas. 98.999999999999999. You get the point. Infinity nines. When you do a double down, they check their phones. And nothing is worse than more than one double down per show. Dude, I've seen motherfuckers do double downs 3 times in one match. What the fuck are you thinking?
Why?
Weapons.
Are they fucking stupid, Dave?
Yeah.
Like,
You see some more,
seriously, why
because the
would you
thing
do
is
a
they don't have a booker. They don't hear the fucking thing, and it's a great rest spot. And the thing is, if you study film, you're a young pro wrestler, you study film, you see something in the 70s do a double spot, and like, oh, fuck it, I know it. A double down. A double down is when both guys are down and ref counts to 10. And in the 70s and 80s, it worked amazingly. And people study it. And it's a pretty good rest spot for a wrestler. You got 10 seconds to do jack shit. The problem is, it doesn't work. So you'd have to ask weapons. You have to ask permission for, and never book back-to-back same matches unless it's a tournament. If you book a cruiserweight match, the next one has to be heavy. If you book a tag, the next one has to be this. If you book a woman, because if you book tag team matches in a row, unless it's a tournament, you lost the interest and you fucked over that second tag team. So these are just some of the rules. I might make a show where I have like 1,000 fucking rules, but that's the thing. Yuri the Black, as someone that works as a manager, if a new wrestler comes in and you have a roster of people that believe in your rules and then you tell them the rules, that person blends in that locker room so much faster than you. Here, you're going against Yuri the Black and his name's underlined and good luck. Well, what the fuck? Well, of course he's going to do whatever the fuck he wants. I'm going to fucking do 6 double downs, you son of a bitch.
Oh man, I could. Oh, dude, it's like promotion. Like I said, promotions that I work for. It's just there's nothing frustrating. There's nothing more frustrating having looking at the run sheet with no direction. I'm somebody who actually likes structure. All right, it's just what is it? It's like the ones that I like. The 2 shows that I like in terms of structure and a conversation with the promoter / booker was Premier Pro Wrestling. Right, I would come in, I would ask the questions that I need to ask, going, hey, what do you need for this? Go ahead and check your thing. All right, I got a quick question. Yep, shoot, what's the question? All right, cool, Yuri, no worries. This is what I want you to do. All right, simples, I'll fucking do that. Or it was and fucking massive shout out to the owner, Wayne Brewer of Gold Class Wrestling. Like the shows that I've been on for that obviously had the structured sort of run sheet and stuff like that. And the couple of shows, it's like, all right, hey, come over, time for us to have a chat. This is what we want either out of the match, or this is what we want out of the. Because when I first came to Gold Class Wrestling, I ended up bringing in like 2 or 3 people, 4 people or something to do attack spots. And it's like, hey, give us a contract. We've just gone ahead and taken out your guys. Blah, blah, blah. There was more substance to that. So I'm just being a bit compact with what I'm saying here. Yeah? It's like, all right, just please make sure you go ahead and do this, do that. Right? Once we followed them particular rules, we got nuclear heat. The crowd was spitting at us, throwing shit at us, going fucking mental. Ended up getting, like, when we got thrown out of the building earlier on that night, the crowd went fucking nuts and no, 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 hey, good. Like, and we did all of this during intermission. And people got invested in it. We came back during the main event. Boom, 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 boom. Fucking massive heat, all of that shit. Fucking, and it was like, with the bit at the intermission, we fucking ended up getting backstage later on. The babyface tag team came out during the intermission because we had a plan. Nobody fucking knew except for the promoter. He's like, don't tell any of the boys. Right? They're like, what's your fucking problem? You shouldn't be picking on fans. You leave them alone. Rah, rah, rah. And we're like full in character, getting in their faces and stuff. Obviously, do the whole nah, get dragged out by security and all that sort of shit. We end up going backstage. Oh, that was fucking awesome. We got nuclear heat. And then the fucking boys looked at us going, what? That was the thing? I was like, yeah. Because we fucking drew in the fans and made them believe. Right? We kept to the structure, the time frame, and we were told to basically be there from the start of the show up until the intermission when we got thrown out. So we were able to sit there, be smartasses like any heel would do in the front run, get in a fan's face, and then get thrown out and all that sort of shit, and then just like all of a sudden it was like fucking just the babyface fucking tag team's going, what's your fucking problem? Oh, obviously in a big professional manner, we get backstage going, dude, what's the use? We had no idea. What the hell? We did our job, dude. We did our job.
Yeah, and the big thing is, especially like a lot of wrestlers, they always go to shows, and I never understood this, and it just shows you how little respect shit fucking bookers get. They always go, oh man, I went to an indie show and I saw a bunch of wrestlers use the same finishers and kick out and do 87 double downs and do this and do this.
Sure.
But that is the booker's job. Like if I go to a show and I see a wrestler, let's just pick the super kick because it's abused.
An overused piece of shit move that means nothing,
Yeah, and
everyone fucking does.
And it is what it is. Wrestling, changes. But here's the thing. Let's just pick on a super kick for now, all right? People will be like, oh, man, I saw 6 matches and 7 super kicks. Well, that's the booker that made that happen. That's what, you know what I mean? And here's the thing. I know this is going to sound fucked up. I don't give a fuck about a wrestling move as a booker. If the fan pops for it, that's great. What I do give a fuck about, we had a wrestler named Sideshow, and he did something called double penetration. It's basically just a reverse pile driver. What I do give a fuck about, though, is when you go out there and you hit my star's fucking move and it kicks out. Like, I don't give a fuck if you hit 57 pedigrees in a row. Fuck Triple H. But if you hit a fucking move that, Bruce Santee did the big dump, you know what I mean? If you hit that fucking move and it kicks out at 3, no. And that's, once again, protecting your main eventers, protecting that. Like, a lot of people want to protect the business. Oh, man, you got to protect the business. Fucking the business is me getting fucking paid and making my goddamn mortgage. That's the fucking business. Like, here's the thing. Like, you'll be like, oh, super kicks are fucking abused. I'm pretty sure HBK can pay his fucking rent. Fuck him. You know what I mean? But if there was a wrestler called a Yuri the fucking Purple, and he was selling a ton of fucking merch, and he was selling fucking tons of tickets, and people want to see Yuri the Purple, and his move was a super kick, well then wait a second, that does affect my business. You know what I mean? And
I think if that was the case, I would have a fucking issue with every other fucking person doing super kicks in their matches. Because any good booker and any good smart wrestler, right?
They need to protect their
What's the
finisher.
what's the whole object of the match? To work the finish,
Uh,
right?
yes and
Because
no. I mean, yeah,
because the way that I look,
yes and no. I think I think the point of the match is to entertain the fans enough for them to come back. Like if let's say, because like we used to do 3-4 shows a fucking week, and we made a fucking small living off it. So like your job is to entertain human beings, to make sure they buy tickets and come back next week. That's your fucking job. And it's your job to make sure that keeps happening. Now, as far as working a finisher and all that, I agree, but I think that's more thinking as a wrestler than as a booker or a promoter.
but if you think
Like
about it,
here's an example. Like,
there's
let's
no
just say,
such thing as a finisher, Dave.
what's
There is
that?
actually no such thing as a finishing move, Dave. If
Well,
you really think about it.
a finisher move is like what finishes the match. So, if you're a WWE diva, it might be a roll up, but it's still a finisher move. So, because when people say finisher, they think, you know what I mean? They think, oh, how are we going to end the match? What's your finisher? What's your go-to? And it's the move that gets the fans up on its feet cheering.
What's the object of a match, though, Dave? The object of a match is to go ahead and beat your opponent and pin their shoulders to the mat for 3 seconds. So, ultimately, really, wrestling is a contest of people trying to beat each other down, make them or wear each other down using various holds, various moves, obviously with the showmanship and pageantry in between to try and connect with the audience, to get to show who the good guy is, to get behind the villain and the hero and stuff as well.
I think that's more of an old school mentality, and I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm saying if that doesn't bring people into fucking next week, because I'm thinking as a booker, you're thinking as a pro wrestler or a manager. Yeah. No, I don't. And this is where the line
all works
is.
hand in hand together as well. So it's like, obviously, you've got what you need to follow almost as gospel, or pretty much as gospel, for being a booker, right? Then you've got what you need to follow as gospel as being the wrestler or performer. But as well as that, there needs to be that crossover with both to implement what the booker's doing, and then to implement to what the wrestler or the performer's doing, with what's needed for that book to make it all work. Because if you think about it, without the booker, there is no wrestler. Without the wrestler, there is no booker.
Yeah. So, but it's just the same thing as writers, actors, and all that. So, but as far as like that, I think that's more of a know your audience, know your roster, you know what I mean? Because here's the thing, let's just pick on the Young Bucks. Everyone hates the fucking Young Bucks.
Oh, I can't stand. We know that I can't stand them.
I know.
And I will
fucking book them every goddamn day of my life. Every goddamn day of my life, I'll book them.
As much as I don't like them, I actually fucking agree with you.
Yeah, fucking without it, because you gotta sell that merch, you gotta sell that T-shirt, you gotta sell those tickets.
Dude, they sell tickets. They bring people in because people have bought enough of their own bullshit to believe in what they're doing.
Yeah, but that's pro wrestling. Personally. That's pro wrestling. What you just said is pro wrestling.
It's just, I think for me, it's a part of pro wrestling. I think with me, I look at the practicality, the practical application. I think that's where, because you look at it as a booker. Yeah. I try to look at it as a wrestler with that sort of, obviously, as a wrestler, as that kind of, because it's all about promoting your brand and stuff. What I was going to say before in terms of booking and finishes, and Young Bucks are a great example, and I was going to compare them, right, in terms of their finish compared to like Shawn Michaels, right? When I see Shawn Michaels do his little tuning up the band bullshit, which I fucking hate because it's overdone now all these years. But as soon as he fucking goes, the crowd goes, oh, bang, he hits it. I'm looking at the guy that's taken it, and it's like they've been fucking KO'd, they've been fucking laid out, and it's like that is a devastating sidekick to the head, like to the chin, right?
Yeah,
Boom.
and it's
Their
also
level, they're
knowing
not
it's
getting
also
up.
knowing your audience.
But I find personally when the Young Bucks go ahead and do it, they'll do super kick. They'll just go ahead and sell it and not take it seriously because there's no impact when they go ahead and do it. Because it's like, I find that it's like the guys might either, they'll take the super kick from the Young Bucks, they'll either take it, stagger around in a circle, and then take another super kick or another move. Shawn Michaels does it, bang. It is the quintessential impact move. It's just boom. I've just fucking finished the guy, and it just feels like the amount of times they do it, they've devalued that move, and it's kind of like, fucking, you just throw your hands up. I'm like, fuck, man, I might as well just fucking go to a local fucking plug shop and pull myself off. This is fucking more entertaining than fucking, you get where I'm coming from? I like the
Yeah, I
idea
mean, you have a view of what pro wrestling is, but a booker should not give a shit about that. A booker should see how it reacts to your audience, how it reacts to that. And I do believe in protecting your business, but the key word, this is the key word of the booker, protecting your business. I didn't say protecting the business. I said protecting your business.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between a booker and a pro wrestler, especially considering, like, you know, you're more have old school vibes and all that. But also, it's also know your vision, what it is. What, you know, we were a poor man's ECW, and the fans thought we were super hardcore. But if you go back and watch, we weren't that hardcore. Same thing with ECW. ECW was hardcore, but not as much as you remember. A lot of it is just, what does the fans think you are, and what do you think you are, and does it match? Do you have a vision? Do you have an idea? And that's also a booker too, and that's more booker / promoter, because you know, Ring of Honor, love them or hate them, they have a vision. AEW, love them or hate them, they have a vision.
I have a vision.
TNA, I'm gonna pick on the Dixie Carter era because I haven't watched enough now, but Dixie Carter ruined that fucking company forever. You know what I mean?
She ruined it. There was one or two hidden gems during that era. I'm going to say that one or two, but it was only few and far between.
But really. TNA, they had no vision. You know, you have to have a fucking vision of what you are. WWE has no vision. But that's easy for them not to have any vision because they're number one. You know what I mean?
Number one in sports entertainment for over 50 years.
Yeah. But the thing is, you know...
It's reputation, man. That's what it is. Because if you think about it, WWE and the way that they've done everything, I reckon that soon as sort of like the guard changed and the times changed, they just kind of fucking stuck to the same old shit, the same old formula. But it's like, but the thing is, because their brand and reputation of what they've built up from...
It's a marketing company. It's a marketing company that happens to have a wrestling ring. That's what it is.
Exactly.
They don't give a fuck.
The thing is, compared to, despite, in my personal opinion, I feel that their product's fucking dog shit. I'm fucking bored as fuck with their product, so I don't really watch it. But I went out of my way. I've got the network. I went out of my way to watch the Rumble because it's fucking what I do every year.
I heard from people that still watch WWE, it's good.
I'm bored as batshit. The product doesn't fucking interest me, right? But it comes down to reputation. That's why they're the number one company.
Yeah.
I think the good thing is about AEW, despite them only being the number 2 company, it's just the way that I look at it, it's good because they're the alternative to WWE. I might not like a lot of their stuff.
Well, that's what I think everyone needs to be. If you're not Vince McMahon, you need to be an alternative. And you also, I don't understand WWE fans that hate other people. Like, I understand people that hate WWE because they have the monopoly, they have the money, they have everything, they are what they present. But the other way around, I don't understand. I talked about that earlier. And the second thing is just like, this is, if you're a pro wrestler if you're anything that has to deal with a booker, and this is like, obviously not, don't do this as a fan because it's very fucking insulting, or they'll just be like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
But if you are in a working relationship with a booker, say, what is your vision for the company? And if they don't have at least a
Yes.
paragraph of an answer, then you do not have a booker. You have an idiot that writes shit down on a pad. You know, like
Yeah.
ACW, when I ran it, they were like, what what was it? And I was to tell you, it's a hardcore federation that tries to make the most of it. It is local heroes taking on the world. It's us versus them. If you are go to ACW, your family. We are gonna fucking take on the world. We don't have money. We are fucking gritty. We're gonna keep fucking fighting. Was all of that true? Maybe. But god damn it, we all believed it. You know what I mean? And that's it.
Oh yeah.
And that's what you need. But if you go to a booker, and I go, hey, Yuri's fucking wrestling federation. I meet the booker and go, yo, dude, what's your vision? And they're like, oh, it's just fucking pro wrestling. Get the fuck out. You know what I mean? Just stop. Drop your pad and hire someone that fucking knows what they're doing.
If I was to run my own company, right, I would want to basically, ultimately, because I have a look at all the wrestling companies before me, many have come, many have failed. Very few have succeeded.
Well, and here's the thing.
It's very successful ones right now.
Yeah. It's very hard without a vision and a good booker to be successful no matter how much money you have.
Mm.
The less money you have, the more you need to be fucking focused. But it is very hard.
You're telling me, yeah, with the companies that I've been associated with, a couple of the companies, it's like, I'm not going to shit on them, and I'm thankful for their opportunities, and I fucking love them to death, and the people that run them. But it's just like, the number of times that there's been either having to rebuild the promotion from the ground up for various reasons, having multiple bookers come in and out the company. One might have been hardcore orientated, another one might have been, like, obviously, but the thing is that the frustrating thing is, and like, I'm not a big fan of it, I don't like existing wrestlers being the booker that much.
Yeah, wrestlers shouldn't be bookers.
Frustrating. It's frustrating. Like, but I will give kudos. I'm not going to name names, but there was one wrestler who was the booker at the one promotion at the time. He got me my foot in the door, and I'm forever grateful for that. And I fucking love and respect him to this day. He didn't have to fucking consider me to put me with somebody in that promotion, but he got me in, and I was there for about over a year and a half, and it's like, he was the booker. He was a wrestler that was a booker, and he was a fairly decent wrestler too. Like, good character, got good heat. Actually ended up managing him at another promotion for a short period of time, which was a lot of fun. And then after he kind of, like, the different stuff sort of happened, and then he sort of either hung around or he exited the company. Then they put another guy in who was very deathmatch orientated, and one of the reasons why I ended up leaving the company, it was like, all right, so I've got my particular team that I'm managing. We ended up getting booked against the tag team champions. We honestly did not give a shit if they were going to give us the tag straps or not. It didn't bother me whatsoever. We're there to do a fucking job, yeah? And that's to perform, to make the fucking champions and shit look fucking good. And we had a semi-decent storyline, right? So we do 1 month, we do an attack. That started one thing. We ended up having like 2 or 3 matches with them, and like, awesome. We're really getting this momentum up for both teams, us and the tag team champions. And then at the fucking drop of a hat, all of a sudden it's like, changes the fucking booking, and then all of a sudden it's like, my group against another fucking tag team. We do the same thing. We do the whole attack, gain the heat. We fucking got massive fucking, like, they got fucking so over because one guy was a heel, the other guy was a face. The heel did a face turn. They joined up as a tag team, and we got fucking, that was another time, or about a week later, after the other fucking, with the nuclear heat. We got fucking nuclear heat that night, and they got this nuclear fucking face pop, and it was the best thing to fucking happen. And then all of a sudden they were stopping that fucking story the following shows, and I'm like, I'm getting sick of fucking setting everything up and getting momentum, and then just to have everything fucking taken out from us. I'm like, I'm frustrated. This has been happening for months. I'm out. And fucking, and you got a problem when that happens, and then like for some reason there was always some sort of like I think with that one thing. And so I'm gonna turn around and rubbish him. He was a nice guy. He was always good to me. Right? I'm not a deathmatch guy. I don't like hardcore. But it was like for some reason there was either always a hardcore match every show, which I think also killed the audience. Every couple of months there was a fucking death match on the card, which I think also killed the fucking audience. Or if they didn't have any hardcore or death matches, someone always fucking bled, which wasn't necessary. Where's the protection of the business that way?
And once again, you're thinking like a wrestler. It really just depends on if the audience worked. Like a lot of times people say, "Oh, it killed the fucking audience. Oh, it fucking doesn't work." But if that's what you're known for, it works. Now, I wasn't there. If people kept showing up and they were bloodthirsty fucking maniacs, it worked. Like... But if you're just doing hardcore and the fans are getting used to it and it's dying down, so that's one thing a booker has to do that I think wrestlers have to learn. Maybe not learn, but especially if you're going to make the transition to booker.
Yeah.
You have to see what works. So like if hardcore wrestling and death matches keep fucking drawing, you know why I don't fucking do many hardcore death matches? Well, if they didn't draw, then they fucking failed. But also, did they ever draw? That's another question too. But
that audience though, Dave, sorry to cut you off. I'm so sorry to cut you off. But that audience, right? It's just only very few people kind of knew what type of audience they were. All that they wanted was just fucking simple, old school wrestling. Like, that doesn't have to be all this fucking flashy shit. So long as they've got the hero and the villain and someone they can boo and someone they can cheer, they don't give a shit. They don't want this.
Well, I mean, once again, I think you're putting your opinion into it because like you don't know unless you see the audience. Like the audience matters. Like here's the thing. You know why they don't do death matches? I don't do death matches and I don't do fucking many hardcore matches as a booker. Not because it doesn't draw, because tables are fucking expensive. 100%
we kind of got around that here. You want to know how? They always... Alright, how we got around the whole table, so we never, like all the boys, never bought tables, right? What they went ahead and did, because they go ahead and reuse the table legs. So they unscrew like whatever table legs from tables that they've gone through before, and they're all generally in pretty good nick after people go through the table, right? The rare occasion one might get fucked up. But they'll go ahead and get this fucking board that's like strong enough to fucking hold a human being. I fucking go through it, no fucking problem. That's how we get around that shit, man. And it looks like a table when we go ahead, pull it out from under the ring, pop the legs up, pop the legs into place. But some bastard goes through it and it has this nice crunch, just like going through a table. And it looks like a table.
Nice.
That's how we got around it, dude.
Oh, maybe I should have. Maybe I would have been a fucking hardcore deathmatch fucking promotion. Dude, if you want to fucking piss off a booker, fucking chant, get the tables. Be like, that's fucking $70 a pop. You go get the fucking tables.
we have a promotion here in Melbourne called Deathmatch Down Under, one of the newer promotions. It's not my cup of tea. I don't like the product. I have my own opinions about that. I personally think it's a bad move, but like, good on them. I wish them success. I hope they do well.
What's the name of it? What's the name of the thing?
Deathmatch Down Under. Right?
Here's my thing. Here's my thing. Straight up shoot. I think that's fucking genius. And this is why I think it's fucking genius. Really? Just marketing wise. This is why it's genius. Everyone who buys the tickets knows what the fuck they're getting. A lot of times you're like, this is fucking, all pro indie wrestling rific.com, and then you don't know what the fuck you're getting. Deathmatch Down Under, you know what the fuck you're getting. You know what I mean?
It's like I have got strong feelings about this promotion and my idea of it, but I'm not going to go into it on the podcast because
No problem. I'm just saying,
It's
marketing
just,
wise.
it's not right from a professional standpoint, right? But the thing is, I will give them credit about this, Dave, right? Because it's an over 18 show. So they actually have it at a
Hold on,
over
hold on.
18
Let me.
venue.
Can I just stop you right there? If you're an
Yep.
indie promotion and you're not fucking over 18, hold on. I'm gonna stop you right there for a fucking second because this fucking grinds my gears. This is more of an opinion
Okay.
piece. Why the fuck would anyone want to see anything? Australia might be different because WWE comes there once a year,
We've
but
got family
let,
shows, dude.
let's
Like, that's
let
our primary audience.
let's look at Florida. All right, if you're not over 18, you should be way over the top cartoony characters. Because if you're just a carbon copy of WWE and WWE comes to your town more than twice a year, you're wasting your fucking time. That's it. Like, if you, like, James Legend has Brawl USA. It's way over the top cartoony, kids. You know, he has a pizza man. He delivers for kids. The money goes to charity. Like, it is what it is. But if you are not James Legend Brawl USA and WWE comes twice, shut the fuck down. Now, if WWE never comes to your fucking town, hey, go ahead. But I never understood that. Like, you try to be middle ground, but like, if WWE comes to your fucking town, stop. Pick your fucking vision. You know what I mean? Oh, we're a little bit of everything. Oh, what the fuck is that? And if you're going to be old school, really go old school. Like NWA, over the top. I think more people need vision. Because when I heard that, oh, you're not 18 and up, I just heard every shit fucking indie fed ever. It's like, know your fucking vision. Ring of Honor had a vision. Combat Zone had a vision. And we're saying in their prime. Obviously, it's hard to keep your vision when, you know, you don't have the same booker, you know. But people have their vision. And just don't be a carbon copy of WWE. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's just because if you're a carbon copy of WWE and WWE comes to your town twice a month, why the fuck would anyone watch that? Why would anyone, you know? And that's the thing. Like, I remember people used to be like, oh, ACW, it's so fucking hardcore. Oh, fucking. And here's the best part, Yuri. If you fucking watched ACW, there was barely any hardcore. We were uncensored. We were unedited. And the reason why there wasn't that much hardcore, shit was expensive. We were a poor company. You know what I mean?
Exactly, man.
We'd be like, bring
what you got.
Well, it was so funny too, because like, know how we stopped the "We Want Tables" chant? We had a "Bring Your Own Weapons" match, and then fucking we're like, the fucking people were like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking bring tables, and they realized how expensive tables were. Stop the chant. Dude,
right.
in Florida, I don't know, fucking Australia, the table economy is fucking rocking, but in Florida, it was like $70-$80 for a table. I was like,
stupid enough to buy a fucking table. Like, we're fucking smart. We use the actual fucking table, like fully fucking table legs. And once you go through a table, you just fucking unscrew those fuckers.
Yeah, we
go
never
ahead
did
and
that.
get the appropriate board, and then fucking obviously drill the fucking holes in, or fucking use the fucking thing to get the fucking screws in. Boom, you got yourself a fucking disposable table.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is too, like, especially if you don't have a vision of what you are, you become a hypocrite, and you're also not a booker. Because like we used to have competitors that come in and be like, we're family friendly. ACW isn't. We were straight up front. We're like, dude, we run bars. We're 18 and plus. We fucking say fuck every 10 seconds. We know what we are.
Yeah.
You need to know what we are. You know, that was part of our marketing. You know, like, it was a bar. If you brought your kids in, that's on you in the bar. You know what I mean? We didn't advertise to kids. We did not advertise, you know. So
it's exactly what I was saying about. Sorry to cut you off, Dave. That was exactly what I was about saying. Like, I'll give credit for the deathmatch now, because obviously, as soon as I hear deathmatch, I'm like, I hear blood, like lots of blood, fucking weapons, all that sort of shit, right?
Yeah.
But I'll give them credit because they're obviously an over 18 show, so they've actually got a set over 18 venue where you actually have physical adults coming there to drink, to enjoy a night out, to watch people like fucking bleed like stuck pigs and beat the shit out of each other with fucking weapons and different shit like that as well.
Yeah. Because
But it's like I've got my own opinion on it. But I'm not gonna go into it because I don't want to fucking get all this fucking unnecessary heat because I get labeled as a fucking Jim Cornette type. And
well,
that's
no,
not the
but
fucking case of being a
the
fucking
whole
Jim
thing is
Cornette type.
that's Jim Cornette's a perfect example. ACW, we were fucking known as hardcore wrestling. We weren't that fucking hardcore. Spoiler: it was a marketing gimmick. We couldn't afford to be hardcore. And then if Family Friendly come around, and then they would be like, "Oh, we're not out drawing ACW," not realizing it was marketing, it was hard work, it was this. You know what I mean? So they were like, "Oh, we'll out hardcore them," but you're the Family Friendly one, and you just out hardcored us. How is you don't even know what the fuck you are? And Jim Cornette is the perfect example of that. Cool. Jim Cornette doesn't like death matches. Cool. I know. Why don't we build a fucking giant fucking scaffold and throw people off it? Yeah, go fuck yourself. That's the thing. That's why you need rules. That's why you need to stand for something. That's why you need to believe in something. And that's the booker's job. You know.
You're definitely making me think a completely different way about stuff as well, right? Like even growing up and stuff like that, it's like I love my ECW, yeah, but you're 100% right. It's like, hey, like, oh, we're extreme, we're in your face, we're this and that. Oh, look, tables, chairs. But the thing is that I like the very first ECW pay-per-view that I ever fucking saw and ever owned on VHS tape. This is when I was in high school, right? So it must have been like fucking what? This must have been like 20 years ago, yeah. Heatwave '98. If you go ahead and watch every single fucking match, right, with the exception of probably Mike Awesome and Masato Tanaka, and then I think it was like the main event, which was a Dudley Mill Street Fight, all of the other fucking matches, and pretty much with stories and shit, were just your normal wrestling matches telling a fucking story. With some of these like fucking bullshit, awesome looking high spot finishes, right? And back in the day, around that time, like when I was younger, don't get me wrong, I might turn around and go, no, I don't agree with death matches now. I used to love, and look, people might call me a hypocrite. I say, people call me a hypocrite, go fuck yourself. I don't give a shit. I used to love FMW, right? But then again, even though that they were known for fucking doing death matches, if you hit and watch some of their fucking shows or some of their fucking events, there was not always fucking people going ahead and cutting themselves up, or not always people fucking thing. It was just, if you go ahead and watch a lot of their undercard stuff, it was just straight up normal fucking wrestling matches. I enjoyed that shit. Oh, wow, as a big blow up or as a big part of the story, deathmatch, fucking awesome. I used to love that shit. But I just think there's no place for it on a local level. Leave it to the Japanese. That's just me.
Man, I don't know. I just think it's the wrong way of thinking. I just like there has to be other stuff out there. There have to be that because a lot of times,
it's just different folks, man. That's what it is.
Yeah, well, as long as you know, and as a booker, you got to know what your product's about, and most bookers don't. So, but yeah, all right, brother. I'm gonna call it a wrap, call it a show here. Do you have anything you want to plug or promote before we let you go, brother?
The only thing I'll plug and promote. So I'm Yuri the Black. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for Yuri the Black. And as well as that, at the moment, I'm just on a temporary hiatus, but you can find me at twitch.tv/Yuri the Black. Always bet on black, baby. And once again, it has been a pleasure. Thank you for having me as your co-host. Thoroughly enjoyed the episode tonight, Dave. Look forward to doing it again, my friend.
No problem. Like, comment, subscribe, because we're going to try to do the videos when we can. One of the teachers at my school quit, so I was planning on doing a show every day, but it was either keep doing YouTube and kids not having classes or put YouTube on Twitch and all that on hold. Check out DaveKoco.com. I hope to be a full-time content creator within the year, but a lot of stuff has to fall into place, and right now with what's in the air and people being short, I don't want to just hang out with my girl. I know this is going to sound douchey, but give me a douchey moment. I don't want to hang out fucking having the time of my goddamn life and loving my girlfriend, bear friends, while kids don't have teachers. You know what I mean? Like, I know it sounds douchey, but and the thing is, especially with YouTube, Twitch, and all that, check it out, KocoSports. The big thing is the algorithm is not in your favor. You know, we have 7,000 subscribers. Maybe 10 of them will get this, you know. But they want you to create content every day. And same thing with Twitch and just human beings and algorithms. We're hoping to come back full-time and kick in the butt. And me and Yuri the Black is getting a bunch of streamers and people into pro wrestling to make a Fire Pro thing on Koco Plays. Hopefully it's going to be fun. I really love Fire Pro. I just feel like the ideas that built the Fire Pro videos and streams kind of ran its courses. So now we're going to try something else. So check out Koco Plays on YouTube and all that. All right. Love you guys. With that, I am over. Ba-na-na-na-na-na. Hey, ba-dum-bum.